Machiavelli's dark sales psychology. The selling secrets 99% of people will never understand. Prologue: the night the merchant learned power. Florence. The air was cold. Oil lamps flickered across narrow stone streets. A young merchant stood trembling outside a wooden door carved with the symbol of a lion. He had the finest silk in the city, yet no one was buying. Inside that door sat a man whose name would echo across centuries: Niccolò Machiavelli. The merchant entered, desperate. "I have the best product," he whispered, "but people do not buy." Machiavelli looked at him calmly. "You do not need the best product," he replied. "You need the best perception." And that night, the merchant learned something that 99% of people never will. Selling is not about convincing minds. It is about commanding perception. This is not a motivational speech. This is not ethical persuasion theory. This is power. And today, we are going deep into the dark psychology of sales Machiavellian style. Part I. The illusion of rational buyers. Most people believe customers make rational decisions. They compare features, they analyze price, they calculate value. This is a comforting lie. Centuries before modern psychology, Machiavelli understood a brutal truth: people decide emotionally and justify logically. Modern behavioral psychology confirms what he intuitively knew, but he weaponized it first. The merchant in Florence believed buyers cared about silk quality. They did not. They cared about status, envy, perception, superiority. The silk was fabric. The purchase was power. If you sell based on logic, you compete. If you sell based on identity, you dominate. Part I. First secret: control the frame. Machiavelli never entered a negotiation without controlling the frame. He understood, whoever defines reality controls the outcome. In sales, amateurs ask, "Would you like to buy?" Professionals ask, "Which option suits you best?" The difference is subtle but devastating. The first gives power away, the second assumes purchase. The Florentine merchant returned to the market with a new strategy. Instead of saying, "This silk is affordable," he said, "This silk is worn by men who do not negotiate their status." Suddenly, price objections vanished because he reframed the purchase as identity, and identity is sacred. Part II. Scarcity. The oldest weapon in power in The Prince, Machiavelli wrote about fear, loyalty, and control. But hidden between the lines is a master sales principle. Value increases when access decreases. Scarcity creates tension, and tension creates action. The merchant once displayed 100 silk rolls. They gathered dust. After Machiavelli's guidance, he displayed only 5. He whispered, "Only 5 remain." The Duke already reserved one. Sales exploded. Was it manipulation? No, it was psychology. Humans fear loss more than they desire gain. When something might disappear, the brain activates urgency. This is not trickery, it is biology. Part I. The power of social proof. Machiavelli understood reputation was currency. A prince without reputation was weak. A merchant without social proof was invisible. The merchant learned to display testimonials, not written letters, but visible authority. He dressed noblemen in his silk. He ensured public appearances. He staged admiration. Once the wealthy wore it, the middle class followed, because people do not want to be correct. They want to belong. The secret: people buy what powerful people appear to buy. If kings use it, commoners desire it. This is why modern brands use celebrities, not for logic, for borrowed power. Part V. Fear sells faster than pleasure. Here is the darkest truth. Pleasure motivates slowly. Fear motivates instantly. Machiavelli famously asked whether it is better to be loved or feared. His answer: if you cannot be both, choose fear. In sales, this translates to lost gain. Instead of saying, "You will improve your life," say, "You will fall behind if you do not act." The merchant stopped promising elegance. He started warning, "Foreign traders are bringing cheaper silk. Soon quality will vanish." People rush to buy because loss is unbearable. Fear is fuel. Part V. The art of strategic withdrawal. Desperation kills authority. Machiavelli knew rulers must never appear needy. In selling, the moment you chase, you lose power. The merchant practiced a dangerous tactic. When a wealthy buyer hesitated, he said, "Perhaps this is not for you." Silence. The buyer leaned forward. Why? Because this silk is chosen by men who decide quickly. Scarcity ego challenge. Sale closed. The power shifted. Remember, the one willing to walk away controls the negotiation. Part V. Identity-based selling. The most powerful sales do not sell products, they sell transformation. The merchant no longer sold silk, he sold status. Modern marketers call this aspirational branding. Machiavelli would call it shaping perception. When someone buys luxury, they are not buying leather or fabric, they are buying a future version of themselves, the elite version, the powerful version. And once someone sees themselves in that image, price becomes secondary. Part via authority without permission. Authority is not requested, it is projected. Machiavelli observed that people assume confidence equals competence. The merchant changed posture, tone, eye contact. He stopped explaining. He declared, "This silk belongs in royal courts. Confidence removes doubt, and doubt kills sales. When you hesitate, customers hesitate. When you dominate calmly, they relax, because humans seek leaders, even in buying." Part X, the illusion of choice. Freedom is attractive, but too much freedom creates paralysis. Machiavelli never gave unlimited options. He gave controlled choices. Instead of, "Would you like to buy?" he offered, "the deep crimson or the midnight black." Both lead to purchase. Both preserve ego. Choice is a psychological comfort. But the outcome was predetermined. Part X, emotional anchoring. Machiavelli understood symbolism. Flags, colors, rituals. In selling, anchor your product to emotion. The merchant linked silk to weddings and political ceremonies. Now it wasn't cloth, it was legacy. When emotion attaches to product, logic disappears. Part X, high price as a signal of power. Low price signals desperation. High price signals confidence. The merchant doubled prices. Sales increased. Why? Because price communicates position. Cheap products are questioned. Premium products are desired. Machiavelli would say, power must appear expensive. Part Scarcity, controlled mystery. Mystery attracts. Over-explanation repels. The merchant stopped revealing supply sources. He hinted at distant lands, exotic origins, secret trade routes. Curiosity intensified desire. Humans chase what they do not fully understand. Part divide, and conquer the market. Machiavelli mastered political division. In sales, segmentation is power. Not everyone should be targeted. Exclusivity builds tribe. The merchant positioned silk for noble families only. Demand surged among those who wished to join nobility. Exclusion increases aspiration. Part X-hive, emotional mirroring. People trust those who reflect them. The merchant mirrored posture and tone. Buyers felt understood. Connection builds compliance. Machiavelli observed diplomats doing the same. Similarity breeds persuasion. Part XV, the final lesson, perception is reality. Years passed. The merchant became wealthy. Competitors copied silk quality. None copied psychology, because they focused on product. He focused on power. The final lesson, Machiavelli whispered, men judge more by the eye than the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel. In sales, people see perception, few analyze truth. Control perception, control outcome. Conclusion, the dark truth about selling is not about being pushy, being unethical, deceiving people. It is about understanding human nature. Machiavelli did not invent manipulation. He observed reality without emotion, and that is why his principles endure. If you master frame control, scarcity, social proof, fear, leverage, identity, selling, authority, projection, strategic withdrawal, you will not chase customers. Customers will move toward you because you are no longer selling a product, you are selling power. Final words, the merchant once asked, "Is this not dangerous knowledge?" Machiavelli smiled. Power is always dangerous. That is why few are allowed to understand it. Now you understand. The question is, will you use it or remain among the 99% who sell with hope instead of strategy?